And then everybody knows that there was a big altercation involving DJ Quick and some other people at the El Rey Theater. Can you tell, since you were there, can you tell the full story and in detail about what happened that night?
No. But anyway, I'll tell you what I can. Um, what happened was Quick had just performed this song, excuse me, this and uh, MC8. MC8 and some of his boys was there at the party. And as they were walking off the stage, somebody from the group where MC8 and all of them were, and he was some dudes from 60's and stuff, reached over to try to pull Quick's hair. When they did that, the melee started. And they fought. I mean, that seemed like one of the longest fights ever that went on in that club. I mean, they beat that boy from the middle of the club all the way to down near the front door. Is how Kelly Jamerson, he's from 60 Crips. He got that's what happened to him. And so anyway, they got jumped. They were outnumbered, and they got whooped on. But it was mainly because MC8 and Quick's beef, and somebody in Quick's not Quick in MC8's entourage tried to grab Quick's hair, and that started the fight. And yeah, that's what happened.
And was that at the time? I know you were around death row, but at the time you hadn't left the police force, as far as I can remember. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was still active, and
Okay.
that's when my police chief was like, "Okay, Negro, you you still hanging around these guys after I done pulled your work permits and everything, and told you you need to stop working with them." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just hanging out with them. I'm 27, 28 years old, want to hang out, with this atmosphere." So, okay, you can keep playing the games if you want, Reggie. Your boy gonna get fired, and that's when I had to call and tell him, you know, what had happened and where we was at, and we was there. And they had LAPD come down and interview us the next day, and get whatever statements they got from us. But yeah, that's what happened on that incident, and yeah, and we later, Suge and I later went and met with Kurupt and Daz because they were getting pressure from the 60's like crazy. They were scared. They were out hanging at I think Daz and Kenya had a house out in Toluca Lake or Silver Lake or something like that. And I remember we went and met them at this little Mexican restaurant. And and so we sat towards the back of the restaurant. And, that was mainly a Mexican neighborhood. There's like 4 or 5 blacks. Men sitting in there. It was late towards closing. And they probably were ready to go. So they called the police on us, right? But the police didn't come in. They waited till we came out. And as we came out, they jacked us. Had us all on the car and stuff. And of course, I had a gun on me. So, why you got this gun? I mean, I'm a off-duty police officer. So not knowing that they taping us and wired for sound the whole time. And then that's when the next day the police chief, they contact my department and stuff, and that's when I knew that the FBI wasn't more than LAPD involved. The FBI was following us around after that incident had happened and everything, and they had me all on tape and stuff. But I didn't do nothing wrong. Can't tell me I can't hang with my childhood friend. And so that's when the chief was like, "Okay, keep playing, Reggie. You're going to do something to get your ass fired."
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. Um, can you tell me a little bit about after the Machiavelli album came out. Toss It Up was then released on the Greatest Hits, but the version used on the Greatest Hits was different than the Machiavelli one. It didn't have the outro. Can you speak as to why that was? Do you know why that was?
Yeah, that was just, it was the greatest hit album. The original Machiavelli album was, controlled by us and stuff like that. The greatest hit album was a combination of Amaru, Interscope, and Death Row. All three of us together, putting that album out. Interscope being the distributor, Amaru and Death Row being, the label, and Amaru being the artist. And they didn't want that era. They were protecting Dre, and we was dissing Dre. And I think then they did somebody else on that outro, or did
I think Lil' Kim and Puffy, some other, the usuals, but yeah.
that era was just bad, and they just didn't want to do it, and so it didn't make it. I'm pretty sure they came at us with, we needed to take some stuff off because y'all don't know, after an album gets so much material on it, you the Bernie Grutmans or the mastering facility won't guarantee it, in mastering, once it goes past so many minutes. So you already be pushing the envelope when you put too many songs with long, sessions on it, adding up. I forget, it used to be a number. I think it was 53 minutes or something like that. I forget the number, where after you go over that, they'll be like, you have to sign special paperwork to say they're not guaranteeing the quality of the album or the sound past that number, because you have too much material on the CD. So it could have been that. Well, I forget the politics on it, but it wasn't no big thing. It didn't make or break the album. Most of y'all didn't even notice that it was a difference from All Eyes on, from Machiavelli album version on the Greatest Hit version. Say y'all did. Say y'all did. I know y'all all gonna say, I knew it. You're a lie. We'll go listen to it and learn something. Give y'all something to talk about in the comment section.